In our Law and Justice lead, conservative U.S. Supreme Court justices today seem to be signaling support for pre-existing state transgender athlete bans during arguments today in two major cases. One of the cases involves a West Virginia high school sophomore, Becky Pepper Jackson, who throws shot put and discus for her school's track and field team. Her family sued in 2021 when the state of West Virginia ban prevented her from joining her middle school cross-country team.
It really gets me down because I have been told, and I have done research on it, and I've been told by all my doctors that I don't have this advantage, but people want to say that I do.
She is who she is, and that has been from the start.
Now, the justices earlier today pressed hard on the definition of sex and the definition of gender regarding Title IX. Title IX bans schools that receive federal funding from discriminating on the basis of sex. Here with us now is West Virginia's Attorney General John McCuskey. So, Attorney General, court watchers seem to think that the court is on your side, that they're going to rule in favor of these state bans on transgender athletes. Is that how you interpreted arguments today?
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that it's only banning transgender athletes from playing on the girls' team, right? So it isn't a ban in totality on playing sports. It's a ban on playing sports on a team with people who don't have the same gender or sex characteristics that you do. But yes, the justices today, and if you got to watch it, our solicitor Michael Williams delivered a masterclass in constitutional litigation. I mean, he was just remarkable. And the justices were really buying into our arguments about fairness and safety.
So the attorney for Becky Pepper Jackson, who we just saw, Joshua Block, he's going to be on the show in the next hour. He pointed out in court today that Becky Pepper Jackson transitioned in the third grade, never went through male puberty. Here's a little bit of what he had to say to Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Take a listen.
I just want to be clear about what we think the justification for the separate teams is. We don't think the boys' team is for better athletes and you have a backup team for athletes that aren't as good. The whole point is to allow female athletes to have all the same opportunities as men by controlling for the sex-based differential that comes through puberty. And so that's why I don't think that the claim is the same there. I think that's what's happened here is by virtue of her medical care, BPJ has already effectively controlled for those sex-based advantages. And so she is completely in the position that she would have been if her birth-assigned sex had been female.
BPJ obviously is Becky Pepper Jackson. When you look at Becky Pepper Jackson, who did not go through puberty, male puberty, she looks like a girl, she seems like a girl. Is there any nuance or ambiguity in this, in the sense that when it comes to the fairness issue, it's different if somebody's transitioned before puberty than if they transition after puberty?
So you're making a really good point. And so one of the really interesting things that happened at the court today is that the ACLU's arguments really threw out an entire category of transgendered athletes. Anybody who was either started transitioning later in life or hasn't transitioned at all isn't covered by their arguments. So their only real argument is that there should be a special segment specifically for very young children who have started or whose parents have given them puberty blockers or surgeries to change their sex. And so, you get to this point and it's like, at what age is it appropriate for this to be happening at all? But they are trying to say that, number one, the definition of sex isn't found in Title IX, which it is. It's the common definition of sex as it was found in 1972 when Title IX was enacted. But two, they're also trying to say that there is no way to create a rational law for a state because there are so many other delineating factors. And they created a group of people that is so small that it's very difficult for any state to ever pass a law in the realm of delineating between the sexes.
All right, we should know 26 other states have laws that restrict transgender athletes for participating in sports, although that number is a very small percentage of the population. West Virginia, 3.5% of those 13 to 17, and less than 1% of adults identify as transgender. Just some statistics there.
Yeah, which also sort of makes our point, right? And so,
but I guess one of the questions I would have, though, is did West Virginia really need to have a law if there's only one girl that this impacts?
Yeah, and that's not really a relevant question because the legislatures of our country are allowed to pass any law that they want, and they're allowed to challenge it. And in this instance, our legislature believes that They are legislating a safety and a fairness issue for women in sports. And the court's going to come back and say that they're allowed to do that, and other states can be allowed to do that too.
West Virginia Attorney General John McCuskey, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks,
We
Jake.
really appreciate it. Ahead.